That is a great classic from Guy, Teddy's Jam, a 1988 off the Guy album. It's your girl, America Jones, right here on Soulher Radio. I am joined by the illustrious, talented, and amazing Tonia Martinez, the CEO and founder of Career Transformations. She's been with us all morning long, talking a little bit about how you can be empowered during your job search, what employers are looking for. This is an illuminating conversation. I actually talked about this early on when we first launched, maybe in week 1, about some of the things that folks are going through while they are in their job search. And luckily, Tonia agreed to appear on the show on Therapy Thursday, because that's what today is. And I've got some more questions for her, and I'm sure you have some too. If you've got a question for Tonia, we can get this over to her, 310-999-2391, 310-999-2391. Tonia, one of the things that I definitely wanted to ask was, what do you want job seekers to understand about what's happening on the employer side of the hiring process? Because it's changed for them too.
Yes, it 100% has changed. And I think people deserve more transparency. Most hiring managers aren't trying to ignore candidates, but they're juggling interviews and budgets and approvals, vacations. They're constantly changing priorities and often doing recruiting on top of their regular jobs. So that doesn't excuse poor communication, but it helps explain why things can move slowly. The part I wish employers understood is that every week of silence creates anxiety for someone who's trying to pay their mortgage, feed their family, or simply regain confidence. And communication matters. I spend a lot of time helping companies improve the candidate experience because treating people with respect isn't just good business. It's the right thing to do.
I think that's amazing insight. And I think in some places we are losing the fact that this is still partially a human process. Yes, there's ATS, and that's part of it. And I know everyone is super obsessed with ATS, and especially as we see these stories from like Workday, where they are having bias in the ATS system and it's weeding out folks. Folks get really hyper focused on this one aspect, but then they're not prepared for their interview, or they're not prepared when the opportunity comes to be transparent in their moment on either side, right? They're not ready really for the employer, and the employee's not ready and the employer's not ready. So how do we bridge that gap?
I think that when you think about applicant tracking systems, educate yourself on them, not you, but audience, because, you could apply for several jobs and maybe your resume has a photo of you or it has great big blocks. Applicant tracking systems will not allow your resume to sparse out appropriately if it's not formatted the correct way. And then I just think that it's important for people to do research on the company and be prepared for that interview, because there's nothing like, asking a candidate, what do you know about the company? And they say, I didn't do any research.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
That's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. That's your job. Like, as much as they are interviewing you to see if you fit in the culture, you're interviewing them to see if this lines up with what it is that you expect for yourself, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Absolutely. So we're going to get back into the music with some Coco Jones Fallen coming up in just a second. Tonia, we've got one more question, and we're going to bring that question in. And if you have questions or are interested in getting Tonia's services, we're going to share that with you as well. And she will give you all the information on how to be in touch with her and potentially make her one of your secret weapons in your organization in terms of helping you figure out whom to hire, or as an individual looking for that next great opportunity for yourself. So keep it right here to Soulher Radio. I'm your girl, America Jones. It is the sounds of sisterhood. You're my heart, you're my soul. Jaheim, just in case, your girl America Jones right here on Soulher Radio. We are working through Therapy Thursday. You know how I am about all holistic wellness, whether that's financial wellness, whether it's your mental health and physical wellness. Right now, we're talking about this job search area and employment, your ability to earn income and find your voice in your workplace. It's challenging right now. And we've got on the line with us one of my dear friends, of course, one of my dear friends, Tonia Martinez, CEO and founder of Career Transformations. And we've been talking a lot about the job search process, kind of what's happening on the employer side, what's happening as someone who's seeking a job. And right now, you said something earlier in our discussion that talked about like pivoting your strategy and kind of taking another look or analyzing your strategy and changing it up a little bit in order to create more opportunities for yourself. Can you go a little bit deeper into that?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you. So one way could be, making a list of maybe 20 companies that you genuinely love and want to work for. Follow them on LinkedIn, learn about their culture, connect with employees at the company, maybe even attend community events where their leaders speak, and reach out thoughtfully instead of waiting for a job posting to show up. And another way is, instead of applying online, use your network. So many jobs are filled because someone said you should talk to Tonia, not because someone, was applicant number 642. So ask people. And then I think another way is instead of focusing only on big name companies, there are incredible small and mid-sized businesses that offer amazing careers, but people overlook them because they're chasing household names. And then lastly, another tip would be, instead of applying for every opening, be more selective. Tailor your resume for the roles that truly fit your background. Be thoughtful in your applications because that will outperform, 50 generic ones.
Oh, I love it. This is such good practical advice, right? And I think sometimes we take this space for granted and we get frustrated and then it's just throw your hands up in the air. I don't think I'm ever going to get this opportunity. I'm over it. I just give up. I've been there my own self, and feeling like it's never going to happen. I'm never going to see this next job opportunity. And especially in this environment, is there any small piece of advice you could say? Is there like, hey, take a break from search? Is that advisable?
Yes, definitely, because looking for a position is a full-time job. If you're doing it the right way, you should be on 6-7 hours a day until you find a role. But yes, breaking just like you would if you were at work, taking your morning break and your lunch break and, going for a walk, getting fresh air, because looking at the computer screen, you can only take so much of it.
Absolutely. Well, Tonia, I'm going to have you come back and share how folks can get in touch with you because I think that we're piquing some folks' interest. And if you have questions, you can hit us up 310-999-2391. We'll make sure that Tonia fields those questions for you. And once again, the number 310-999-2391. Keep it right here to Soulher Radio. We got a little bit more left with Tonia coming up after this break. It's your girl, America Jones, right here on Soulher Radio. Thank you so much for rocking with me today. It is the Sounds of Sisterhood, and I definitely have my sister with me today. We're so grateful. We've been really in a deep conversation with Tonia Martinez, the CEO and founder of Career Transformations, a boutique recruiting and outplacement consulting firm. And she's given us some gems, yo. Like, I'm telling you, brilliant individual, and we're really lucky that she has set aside some time to talk to us. But if you want to get in touch with her, and you might want to hire her service, whether you are an organization looking for her specialty, or whether you're an individual that wants to hire her to help coach you through transition, coach you through to your next position, she's definitely here for it. So Tonia, how can folks get in contact with you?
The easiest place is on LinkedIn. Search for Tonia Martinez or Career Transformations. I'm always sharing, posts for the business and, career advice, you definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn through Messenger is probably the best way. And if you're feeling stuck in your job search, or if you're a business that's struggling to hire the right people, I'd love to have a conversation. I meet people where they are, and some people have just, been laid off. Others are trying to make a career change. Some have been searching for months and simply don't know, what they're doing wrong. And my job is to help them from, spinning their wheels and really help them develop a strategy that actually works. And one of the advantages I bring is that I work on both sides of the hiring process. I help companies hire and I help job seekers get hired. And that means I understand what employees are looking for, where candidates often get stuck, and how to bridge that gap.
Oh, Tonia, you are doing the Lord's work. I'm going to say it because this is not easy. And especially during this season, right? It's just, we're seeing so many challenges and it's hard to stay positive.
Yes. I always remind people that, asking for career help isn't a sign of weakness. We hire coaches for sports and trainers for fitness and advisors for our finances, and our careers deserve that same investment. And sometimes all it takes is someone who can help you see your strengths from a different perspective.
I love that. I love that. If you could leave the audience with one special phrase or group of words or something that could inspire them as they're going through this effort, because trust me, I would have loved to have that. I mean, we started a station. That's what happened. I couldn't figure out how to find a job. So I was like, I'm just going to start a radio station, and boom, here we are. That's not everybody's path though.
Yes.
So and I don't advise it if you don't have experience. It's kind of challenging. But what would you want folks to walk away with?
I don't believe people should settle for the first job they can get. I want people to find work where they're respected, where their strengths are recognized, and where they can build a meaningful career. Because when you don't find that, you'll be looking for a job in a month or 6 months or a year. And if you could back up and just slow a little, that would give you more time to find the right fit, to find the right culture and the right role that is going to make you happy.
I love this.
And
I love it.
You deserve it.
I love it. And we do deserve it, don't we? I think on both sides of that coin, right? I believe that the employers want the most qualified workforce that they can afford and that can bring that culture to their environment. I also believe on the other side that employees, you are absolutely empowered and you have a voice and you have choice. Sometimes I think we don't feel like we don't have a choice for us, but I definitely feel like we should. I really do. I want to thank you so much, Tonia. I appreciate you so greatly. You transform people. You help people become a better them. And I will say personally, I'm telling you, I've had the opportunity to work with Tonia. Brilliant, kind, generous, encouraging, and dynamic are the words that come to mind when I think of you. And I want to ask you on a humbug here, maybe we could have you back to discuss further if you'd be interested.
I would love that.
We would love to have you here as a part of Soulher Radio and for Therapy Thursday. Tonia, thank you so very much. We appreciate you giving us such sage advice. We're going to play a little bit more music and then I'm come back and wrap up and tell you what we got coming up for Friday. You are listening to Soulher Radio, the sounds of sisterhood, her mic, her mission, her moment. Oh, we are wrapping up this edition of Therapy Thursday. It's so awesome to have Tonia Martinez, the CEO and founder of Career Transformations, a boutique recruiting and outplacement consulting firm. It is so exciting to have people in our community give us some information and help us feel seen and heard. I'll be with you tomorrow, bright and early, 6 a.m. right here on Soulher Radio. Thank you for rocking with your girl. Here's City High. What would you do?